Welcome to Paley Front Row, presented by Citi. I'm Paula Powell. The Paley Center is dedicated to celebrating excellence in media, especially now. To help continue to bring you outstanding programs like this one, please go to paleycenter.org to donate. We welcome the beloved Jimmy Fallon, host of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy's going to explain to us what it's like to transform this late night institution into an at-home format. Nice to meet you, Jimmy.
Nice to meet you. I love hearing your voice, but seeing your face, I miss you, pal.
Oh my God, I miss you. Jimmy, I have known you for so many years, and I found a picture in my phone about a month ago that I took a copy of.
Oh, look at those babies.
It's like a sonogram pic from Lauren Michaels' womb. To begin this discussion about your at home, I want to share that my beloved, darling parents are here, Deanie and Kenny, that you've met.
Hey, oh my gosh, you guys look great. Hi. I miss you guys.
This is Paula's latest child. She won't tell us who the father is.
And his name is Gary, too. So I have a Gary and you have a Gary.
Yay.
My sleeping pill.
Huh?
Every night in bed.
That's our new slogan.
I love your home show. It's just great.
It's the review you always wish for.
It really is. It's our new slogan now. Oh, it's so great to see you guys. Thank you for saying that. And thank you for watching.
Goodbye.
Oh, you look great. Stay safe, guys.
Okay. You
Now, please don't make any noise.
Oh my, Paula, we're leaving that in.
I'm taking you back to Florida.
Paula, we're going to have a conversation. We've done that before.
Yes, we've had many conversations, some late night, some about what we're writing, and mostly not about what we're writing, just to avoid writing.
Yeah. I mean, your office was the cool hang office. That was where we would all end up laying on the floors and with Will and Molly and just like crying, laughing.
I remember anytime I see your face, I think of when I remember watching you audition, and I remember thinking two things. One is, he's insanely talented. He's going to be a huge star on the show. And two, the girls are going to fall in love with him.
Oh my God.
Because I already had a crush on you after you were singing, and I'm a hard sell, if you know what I mean. Google me, guys. I'm a gay. I'm Ann Gay.
I do remember that audition though, and I, you know, in my head, I go, who was there? Was it just you and Lauren and Marcy?
Well, and those auditions are such a vacuum of sound, and usually even if someone wasn't doing well, I would have a sort of anxious laugh in the background. When I watch old auditions, you can hear me going, that was, but most of the time.
It makes people feel good.
Yeah.
It's probably like you, Shoemaker, Marcy, Lauren.
Yeah.
It's not that many people. So, I mean, you do feel, weirdly, it might have set me up for these at-home shows because I got about the same amount of laughs as I do now.
I was going to ask you starting out, because we come from that DNA of SNL and all the muscles that it develops. Is what SNL muscles helped you? I know things have helped me in my life since then, work-wise, to work faster, you know, call an audible, just be on my feet about things, and confidently go into complete terror and lack of confidence inside. How did that all help you when you had to sort of hustle? And I mean, this just came about fast. I remember just shooting AP Bio, and suddenly we were like, oh, I think we're going to shut down. Like, things went down fast.
Yeah, that's what happened with us. I think, you know, the thing you learn from SNL from doing it for all those years is the show must go on, you know? And so no matter what, and also how much people need you and need comedy and need the laugh. And so I remember when, as soon as the quarantine happened, you know, I said to Nancy, my wife, I said, I don't know what's happening. We just all have to stay home. And I don't know how long it's going to be, you know. I think maybe 2 weeks, I think is what
Everyone was saying about 2 weeks.
So I ran, I drove to PC Richards or Best Buy, whatever it is. And I bought a really crappy tripod that holds your phone, because I didn't have one of those. And I go, by the way, there weren't that many tripods at this place. I go, really? I thought people were doing this all the time. I guess it's more selfie. But I go, I'm going to do something. I just don't know what it is that I'm going to do. And I don't know what the structure is. I don't know if you can clearly can't get guests. So I was like, my kids or my wife will be my guests. And we're just going to try to show people that what we're going through, so hopefully that can kind of, balance out the craziness with some funny or some calm or some normalcy.
When everything stopped for a while, I think because everyone tends to just always complain about all I do is work. All I do is work. I can never be in my life. I can never be in my home. I can never see my kids. I can never see my dogs. And then suddenly we were all at home. So there was a part of it that, even though it was not it was for a horrible reason and nobody wanted any of it to happen, but there was that little teeny part of like a snow day, like we're off, like but then you realize that little nerd part of us as performers and writers and everything, it's like, oh no, we have to keep going.
Yeah, I jumped right in. I mean, we had our last show on a Thursday at 30 Rock, and that morning NBC said no audience. And so we had already written the show for an audience. So we didn't write it for silence. And
right.
So all the jokes really did not work. But, and then Friday is when I just came out here. I came out east, and on Tuesday we started the show. So I think I had Friday and Monday off, were the only 2 days I had off. Then I went right to doing this. And I just hit the ground running and going, I don't know what this is, but you know what it was? I was talking to Nancy, and I was thinking about this, and Paul, you were there. I mean, the only thing I can compare this to was probably, 9/11, when we were in the city and we didn't know what to do. We didn't know who to turn to. We didn't know what to do. We were all trying to talk to each other, but we didn't know where we could meet up. We didn't know what was happening. And could the show come back? Could we be funny? Could we tell jokes? And I remember watching, Conan and Leno and Letterman. And Letterman was just talking about being courageous and just courage. And that's such an important thing, And he said, after doing this a lot of years, sometimes pretending to be courageous is just as good.
Yeah.
And I thought about that.
Putting on a brave face, because that all those frontline workers are, scared as hell, and they go in there every day and put all that on and just say, we're going to face this. Like, everyone has to face it. I think the thing about 9/11 that was different in a way, I remember we were all in New York together, but I just remember feeling like the first thing you wanted to do in the fear was to be together. So everyone was like gathering and going like, come over to my apartment, or we're going to make dinner together. Everyone was trying to gather like animals, to
That's right.
keep each other warm, and you couldn't do it. You couldn't be with anyone else,
Yeah, that is such a good point that I totally remember. I remember that, going to different people's house and everyone's house, and they would have people over. This is so scary because no one can go anywhere. And you're just like, what are we doing? What's going on? And how serious is this? And what is this thing? And I kept thinking like, all right, I have a platform. I'm very lucky that I have this platform. This is what I can do. I'm clearly not a doctor or any of that stuff. So I'm like, the one thing I can do is just whatever from my house. This is pre-Zoom even. I didn't even know what Zoom was. I was just going to live stream or something from my house and just be like, let's talk somehow. And just anything to show like, hey, I got 2 kids. We're kind of confused and scared too. And, but here's what my kid, here's what I did today to waste some time with the kids. And, now I've run out of that. Now I have nothing else to do. Okay, I'm going to put up a tent. I don't know how to put up a tent. And, so the first couple of shows, by the way, Paul, you could imagine, it took me 4 hours to put up this tent, and they used it twice.
Such good entertainment. I'm sorry, people love that. I mean, I love seeing people's homes. I love seeing people in their safe space. I love seeing them, quite honestly, even though you look handsome as ever, you devil. But I love seeing people without the sort of lights, hair, makeup. I love watching musicians on your show perform like in that stripped down way.
Isn't that,
I
it became an amazing thing. And I go, it's just all creative people going, we can be creative. We really are. It's already in our brains. You can't stop us. So it's like, what can you do? And how can you be the most creative? And what if you don't have guests, you know, and how about the sock puppet? You know, is that something you can do? I don't even know if it's funny. I don't know. I had my kids making the logos for the show, which I'm just going to keep forever because it's so cute. Some are better than others. Clear. I don't know what was happening with this one. That was.
they were revolting that night because you.
I had a few drinks before this, and I thought it looked good when I was done doing it. But you know, and then I'm pretty. You know me, but I mean, I'll send you emails of the kids, or but barely. I try to keep the kids out of public eye and all that stuff. I'm not, and I was just like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it real and to just show you exactly.
It's in your natural habitat. It's like watching someone truly in their life. And I think that's why it's so endearing to people. And I myself love and crave, whenever things feel chaotic and scary, I crave ritual. I crave home.
Yeah.
And I've watched the soaps for 40 years. My mother and I have watched the same soaps for 40 years. And I immediately started watching my soaps, watching them every day. And then they ran out of soaps because they stopped shooting, they didn't shoot enough of them. So now they're showing all the ones from like me 20 years ago, I used to sit and watch, and I'm watching those and having these flashbacks, but
they're showing like Ryan's Hope.
Yeah, no, all the CBS ones. But I really, truly, I just remember those times, but everything in your house feels, when I watch your show, first of all, I freaking love your house, but I love watching you interact with your kids in your house. It just feels intimate, but it doesn't feel like you said, if you brought your kids on your show in the studio and like, here's my kids, and like, let's talk constantly about my kids, it feels exploitative in some way. But in this kind of thing, it is really, truly like, we're all going to be okay. Like, we're all having the same experience and we're all going to be okay. And we're going to try to laugh, and we're going to try to see how other people who, and love are handling this. And it just,
is there any calm during this chaos? But, and it's, and sometimes it's just, it's just busy. And we have such busy lives. I mean, there's so many things, and everyone's dealing with so many things. So it's only just a chance to go like, whoa, his life isn't as perfect as it looks. He's not in a suit. And like you said, his hair is not combed. Well, it's never really combed, but it's like, he has no makeup on, or, it's like.
It's tossed in a sensual way.
Tina thinks I comb my hair with a sneaker. That's not true. That is not true at all.
Well, when I think of, because I've been on your show, and gratefully so, had such a fun time. And any kind of talk show, any kind of show, period, SNL, any kind of show is timed down to the frickin' minute. And everything has that feeling of, we're on a clock, we're on a, it has to be, you're always aware of that. You're always aware that you're not really fully relaxed in it. And with this, you kind of could let it rip and then decide what you want to use and what
Oh, it's so interesting delivering a joke to silence, knowing that, by the way, my wife is behind the camera and easily could laugh just to be nice. She could even a little like just something that anything, just a little cue for the people at home. Silence.
Courtesy
Holding
laugh.
the selfie stick. Nothing. And I go, really? Nothing? That was a great joke. But also, it kind of helped me breathe a little bit and calm down and go like, oh, you don't want the big loud laugh, and and it's forced and it's fake if someone's laughing at every joke. And also,
it takes the pressure off of that part, and you just sort of enjoy in this sort of low stakes way of, I'm putting it out there, and there's probably some people falling off their recliner, and there's some people just, without that live audience. We're used to live. We're used to, I had my dad watching something today on his earphones that I did. And I'm like, watch this, Dad. And then I'm like, just enjoy, go enjoy. I'm peeking around the corner, just waiting for sound, any sound. And then if he makes any giggle or something, I come over. What is the thing you're giggling?
What made you laugh?
We're needy little children that way.
Yeah. I mean, we did stuff on SNL too. I remember watching, I think it was Will. Was he like a TGI Fridays server or something? And it was tanking. The bit was just him. And we all gathered around the cameraman, and we're around the cameras. We all gathered around the cameras and just watched him tank, and loved it. And just to show that we supported him and we love him so much. And he was doing some crazy thing, and he was singing, and it was crickets. I mean, there was a full audience, and no one laughed, and we all were standing next to each other, writers and cast, and just watching Will.
We really learned how to take that silence in and just live in the imperfection and just be like, yeah, we're really blowing it right now, and we don't even care because it's cracking us up, and we're gonna laugh later about it, and it's okay. Everything feels like that, I think, with these at-home versions, but particularly I find your show to be very warm and authentic and real, and it just doesn't feel like you're faking authenticity, which you're starting to come across it with some people of like, oh, this just happened, or I just, they're starting to kind of create what they want it to be. And you kind of you really do, you just let go. You just hold on to that roller coaster, and you're like, all right, let's do this.
It's almost like, remember those at-home photos like in magazines where it's like, so-and-so at home, they're always barefoot on the couch with a glass of wine, and you go, come on. And you have makeup on.
Call out celebrities on no makeup selfies where I'm like, bitch, you got mascara on. Don't even.
Not all makeup.
I see eyeliner, mascara, foundation, highlighter, concealer.
Yeah.
A buffing top powder.
Oh yeah. This is just me waking up, and you go, oh, it is not.
No.
And I know you've never been afraid. We'll do anything for a laugh or anything. It's like, dude, there's just, you have to just go for it, and something's going to whiff. Some things aren't, but, I think, once we started doing that, and NBC was full on supportive, by the way. They were great. And they were like, yeah, if you can only even give us 20 minutes, we'll air 20 minutes. And I go, here's what we'll do is let's highlight a charity every episode. So every episode is talking about something that we can do together. Like, hey, you guys looking to do something? Because, Broadway shut down as well, and we don't know when they're going to come back. So let's talk about Broadway Cares, and you go, someone said, well, Feeding America, here's what they're doing. And I'm learning as much as my viewers are learning. We started raising all this money, and you go, oh, this is helpful. It's making me feel good.
Yeah.
And it's making it just going, even just seeing that we're trying. I think
every person that I've seen on any kind of Zoom thing, and you consistently in your show have always kept that in the mix. And I think that's just so amazing. It's not like, oh, we're just going to do Charity Wednesday. It's like, no, every day we're still in deep trouble. Like people are suffering, and there are so many people without work and food.
Yeah.
And
there's so much to give, and there's so many great organizations. How about that, by the way? How about everyone being so creative and starting these organizations like from the ground up, and going like, look, if the government's not going to do anything, we're going to do it. So here's the thing. I go, like, it's kind of awesome to see how much can be done when human beings come together and work together and help each other.
Do you feel like when you interview guests that they're also in more of an authentic mode? Do you feel?
Yeah, I like it, actually. I almost like it a little bit better because, sometimes we'll have a guest and I know where their punchline is going to be.
Right.
And so if it doesn't land, I can't just sit there and just be like,
right, you're a comedian, you know how it's all feeding in.
I know where the punchline is, but this almost makes it kind of easier because my guests, they come on and they don't have to score. Maybe they're not comedians. I mean, a lot of my guests are, musicians, or they're, authors or whatever I'm having on, and they'll or movie stars that they're not performers in that way. So there's talking and showing me their house, and then they'll make a thing, but it's genuine and it's a real conversation. And you know, I have notes and things I have to, you know, but I really just get off on a tangent, and like you said, let it breathe a little bit. And and I don't have to worry about the conversation of the time. And we end up just having a great, I talked to Adam Sandler, by the way. We had an interview, we just talked, and I go, that was great, buddy. Thank you so much. He goes, that was it? I go, well, he goes, no, Jimmy, do we start we didn't do that. That was the thing? That was the interview? I go, yeah. He goes, oh, did I sound stupid? I don't even know what I was saying. I go, it's all good. No, it's just a normal. And he was so like, wow, that was, I've never done an interview like that.
Trick pony, like the light doesn't come on, you know.
Yeah, and it was just a real conversation. Of course, he was funny because you know he just is, and so it was. It's been interesting. It's been different, but I kind of enjoy it, and you know, it's also less stiff when you don't have a suit on, and you're interviewing someone who doesn't have all the hair and makeup, and they're not in a dress that's so tight that they can't actually sit down and breathe. It's like everyone's talking, everyone's at their thing, and everyone's going through the same moment. And I
had 4 sets of Spanx on your show when I was on your I had a head Spanx on. I was wearing a head Spanx under my wig.
I had to lose some weight because my actual shirt started fitting like Spanx. And I go, that shouldn't happen. I mean, that's, you know.
Compression shirt.
Yeah. It's almost like those, you know, the belt loophole that you haven't used in 5 years. You go, ooh, I was there once? Wow.
I've never worn a belt, Jimmy. I've never worn a belt. I really have never worn a belt. I'm built like a barrel, and I do not wear belts. They only emphasize the part I'm trying to draw the eye up from. Lots of hair, lots of makeup, big earrings. Let's talk about your darling fruit of your loins. These 2 girls. They're infuriatingly cute and hilarious. And do they have reps?
Yeah. Oh, the career's taken off. Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I was like, you can't tell them what to do. They're not actor kids. So I can say, hey, can you go over to the camera and just say, welcome to the Tonight Show? And they're like, no. And I go, yeah, come on, just do it. Just real quick. Just say, welcome to the Tonight Show. They go, no. They go, good night. Good night. And then they go, good night. Then they both start saying, I go, so they're not actor kids. So I go,
and I will stick my bare foot into frame under you, under your chin while you're interviewing the Pope.
I do a lot of my interviews in this little like table here. And I could see one of them will just sneak on the floor, like spying on me. And yeah, you'll see like a little foot or something come up here or something. I go, you get lost. I mean, but you know, they don't quite realize that it's going out to millions of people. You know, they're just kind of goofing, and they think it's almost like a home movie, I guess.
It's funny that the memory of it, I'm sure, will be that like Dad and I were goofing off, like we were doing goofs in front of a camera. That's just.
And then you get the moments where it's so real, where I'm doing an interview and Winnie comes screaming in, Daddy, 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 I lost my tooth.
Oh, I watched that. That was so cute.
And I'm talking to Ciara and Russell Wilson, and she comes on, there's blood all over her teeth, and she's so happy and proud, like, I lost it, and it's like, it's those moments I go, I'm so, in a weird way, happy that I was doing this interview, because that's a moment that I'll never forget, you know. And now it's almost like my home videos are being projected to millions of people, but, you know, again, not on purpose, and not, you know, but just things are just happening. And it's just, yeah, when that happened, I'm just like, it's just so real, and it's been amazing. And that's one of the.
What I love about it, the way it's set up, though, is because it is anything goes. That it's not like that, you know, viral video of the guy in his suit talking, and all the kids keep coming in on the chair, and the mom's dragging them out. You know, just that panic that we usually have on any kind of video online. I think we're all realizing that, you know, everyone knows what we really are and who we and like that we all are human beings.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I got my wife to talk on camera, which is she's a producer for years and made some amazing movies and worked on amazing TV shows. She would never she would never want to be on camera. She doesn't like going to events, being on the red carpet. That makes her feel she's so fun and great, obviously, but she doesn't like that stuff. But she was like, I got to take one for the team. This is my husband. This is, he needs.
Is it fun that she's a producer though? She can really, she's got that brain.
She gets it. Oh yeah. And she can go like, hey, do that shot again, and we'll do the shot again. And she'll have this nice kind of sweeping shot, and I go, honey, that was really funny that you went to that cowboy booth. She's like, her instincts are great. And she'll give me.
Tell her to cool it. Did you tell her to kind of cool it? Yeah. Tamp it down. Keep that.
A little bit much. I go, all right, it's not, yeah. It's tonight's show starring me.
Back the hell off.
Back the hell off. By the way, technology is unbelievable. The fact that this thing can be beamed and broadcast out to, we did Lady Gaga asked me to co-host this event with the Global Citizens.
Yep, I watched that.
I went to almost 50, 60 million people or something, worldwide, global. And it was like, from this. And then it's almost surprising what we can make. I go, what if we do, Under Pressure with the Roots, where they'll play.
That was my favorite of all.
Brendan Urie, that guy's got a great, oh my gosh, the pipes. They're just playing things at their house. So Tariq is hitting a toaster with a spatula. Questlove is playing pots and pans. Kamal is using Connect 4 for a sound. I mean, we really, just to see what we can do. And we ended up getting that together and kind of mixed it and made it sound fantastic. And I was like, we never would have done that if we, had been in the studio. But it just came about.
Isn't it funny, because that instrument segment that you've always done has that feeling of at home. It always is the biggest joy of like them playing kids' toys, and you go, oh my God, that's so brilliant to just see you guys in that closet playing, the kids' toys.
Tiny room, yeah. And then we did, speaking of soaps, we go, it'd be kind of an interesting take is to do like a soap opera where they have to do it through Zoom. And so there's no really entering and exiting of a thing. There's no two-person scenes, but how do you do it? And so we got to do this with the great Kristen Wiig and Will. Oh my, Paula, the outtakes. Crying. I couldn't even look at the camera. I was Will changing into different voices and characters. And Kristen Wiig at one point was laying, and all you see are her feet and her legs kicking around toilet paper. And she did this face, and it was the funniest face I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. I go, who are these humans? I still don't know what the answer is. I've never met anyone like those two. And we sent the script, one of our writers wrote it, and they just said, yeah, sure, we'll do it. And those moments, I don't know, I'll never forget it. And it was, again, something we wouldn't have thought of, if we had the studio show.
I mean, we've always said, because we've always stayed in each other's sort of lives, all of these comedy friends from SNL, it's like I still work with a lot of, Shoemaker and a lot of people that I still work with, that we worked with for so long and we're so dear with. And we still sort of have that feeling with them and saying like, oh, we're getting paid to just play with our friends and goof around with our friends. But now it's like for real, like we're like, call me from your toilet. Okay, sit on the toilet and call me from the toilet, and then we'll do sound effects. Like whatever it is something we would do just completely goofing off. But now that's like actually our life, Yeah,
and that's our life, and we need it, and that's our bit. Yeah, and it's also good, because I think that's a good thing about SNL that builds up is like you're there for each other, and we always will be. And you don't have to ask twice. It's like, yeah, I'll do it, which is great.
I cool. Love it. Let me just talk for a minute about the Black Lives Matter movement and that series of shows. I really enjoyed and was very moved by them. And we're all feeling a collective pain and a hope that change is finally going to happen. And like Don said, which I liked, is that we're not there's no turning back. This is a new direction, hopefully a positive direction, but like you can't turn back from this. This is hit a bottom that there's been hitting a bottom for a very long time, but this is got to be a watershed moment, as they call it. So how did that feel for you? How did that series of interviews feel for you? And what did you come out of feeling?
It was tough. It was, being that, honest and raw, it's something that, it can't be written for you. You have to just write it yourself, speak from the heart, and just, own up to your mistakes and know that you're going to make mistakes in the future too, but learn from them at least, and start learning. And I really, for me, I'm very lucky to have this as I can have conversations with people that, I've had, from the president of the NAACP to educators.
Kamala was on.
Kamala Harris was on. Jane Elliott, who is an amazing teacher and educator about racism. Even talking to, to actors, whether it be black or white, it's or any race, really, just talking and opening up that communication. And it's a little uncomfortable because you don't know me like that. So you come on my show and we're always laughing and goofing, and this is like nothing to laugh at. And also to talk about the hurt and the anger and the, it's something, again, we're all going through. And if you watch the news all day, and it's awful, but it's necessary change. But this is, again, is something at the end of the day, you can come to me and I'm going to talk and I'm going to be straight up. And, those are the tough moments of these shows, when you have to be serious. And I just did it, and I was lucky enough to just have my wife there. It would have been tricky to have, an audience or all that stuff, but I would have had to do it either way.
It felt like the stripped down version of talking to people and talking to camera about it was probably helpful in just staying in the discomfort of it, because I think that's what it showed other people, to emulate that it's time to be uncomfortable and to stay in that discomfort and not try to wrap it up and try to sort of feel like you're fixing it with a statement, or feel like you want to brag about how you're better in being an ally than anyone else. Whatever it is like, shut up and listen and learn. And I feel like you did that in a way that was so simple. And I feel like it probably most likely inspired other people to do the same, which I really loved.
It did. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't show what I was going to say to my producers or publicists or anyone, because I didn't want any buzzwords.
Everyone's going to want to tweak it, and say,
oh, you got to say this. Oh, you didn't say that. Oh, you got to say this part. And I go, I'm learning, dude. I'm being straight up, and I'm ready to be, teach me. I'm ready to listen. I'm ready. So and I'm, so that was the thing behind doing that one. But I think, since then we're continuing to have the conversations and talking, and we're not going to stop. And, and I think, from, knock on wood, I hope there's this doesn't lose momentum, and there's going to be some real change.
Yeah, it feels hopeful in that way, and I think it's just up to everyone, not just the Black community, and not just activists, and it's everyone has to look at their lives.
Yeah.
I have one last question that's a bit general, but when we come to another side of this, I don't feel like we're ever coming back to normal, because it will be a completely new normal, as they call it. But what will you bring to the future in your little time capsule of this experience, what will you bring in your heart and your head that you've learned in these last couple months by doing your at-home show and just having all this awakening of just a lot of things? What do you have in your coffers?
I think the intimacy, my listening has become even sharper, and the intimacy of having a conversation and knowing that I want to hear people, and I just you appreciate everything. I really do appreciate everybody that's worked on my show, even top to bottom. Obviously, I mean, you've seen my graphics department. So I mean, you appreciate every single thing that goes into everything, but then also you appreciate human beings in general. Just I mean, when you see the frontline workers, when you see someone working at the grocery store for $10 an hour, risking their lives to sell me food, and they go, whoa. I just love people, and I always have, but I really, it's kind of magnified my love of people.
Dug a little deeper in it. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, we sure do love seeing you, and it's a comfort since my soaps are done.
I'll work on that. I'll see if I can talk to somebody about that. But you'd love to rerun.
Come on, and they can play out some of the scenes, and I'm really wondering what will happen soon.
They have to. By the way, I went to I was a big General Hospital fan, still am. And back in the day when I was doing stand-up out in LA, I got invited to a party at Jackie Zeman's house, and I was like, and I freaked out. And I went there. I go, oh my God, I can't believe I got invited. I went with some manager, someone that knew, and I went and I saw Anthony Geary, who's Luke, and then I saw people all talking. I go, yeah, you can't talk to them. You're the Quartermains. You hate this family, and like. Slowly realizing, oh, these are actors.
You murdered his wife and put him in a basement.
How could you be eating a hot dog? Exactly. And it was like, yeah, but you need your stories. You need the TV's a powerful thing.
It's a powerful thing. I wrote a sketch on SNL, a parody one time, like live on camera parody about, it was daytime drama condoms, and they had like 300 holes in them. So everyone gets pregnant because every single person on a soap gets pregnant the minute they do anything. Lauren was like, why don't you just have the people from your soaps be in it? And so we shot the whole thing, and my mom was visiting, and we went to see them shoot this commercial with all my favorite soap people, and then it got cut on air.
Oh, that was
cut, and I was so mortified because I was like, oh my God, I've just gone on and on for 2 days of working with them, telling them that they are just my favorite thing. And then
you had to cut them.
They showed up to the show, and it was like, yep, well, gather your dignity, Paula, and go have 3 martinis.
I remember doing that, and like when Tina and I were doing Update. And now and then we would just write a bit and just we wouldn't ask anyone. We just book it, and just like, and Lauren would be like, so who's going to tell me that Lou Reed is here? Like, you should let me know, because you can't cut Lou Reed. And I go, all right, well, we're just going to do it. And I go, but it was like, you can't, but it's always, when you get a special guest star, you go, you can't cut those bits.
He didn't follow soap, so it was easy. It was easy as butter. It was soft, warm butter and a knife. He just cut them right out. But similarly to soaps, your show, your at-home version of your show especially, it's every night. It feels comforting. It's got a lot of drama, a lot of pregnancies, a lot of...
it's wild to do a show every night for an hour, and fill it up, and Monday through Friday, it's like, it does take a lot of work. So I really will give my team props, because I know it looks a lot like it's just me and Nancy doing everything, which it is from here. But once it leaves here, it's up to it's the writers, it's the editors, it's, it's all those, the whole team of people making this whole thing work. And so we're very, very lucky, and I feel very fortunate to have this job and be able to have this platform to make people feel good. And that's all I really want at the end of the day. I just want people to feel good.
Well, you've sure done a beautiful job, and I love seeing your beautiful face.
I love you, buddy. Thank you for doing this for
Thank
me.
you.
I was like,
It was a pleasure.
I love you, buddy, and I miss you.
I'm about 7 minutes early, so I'm just going to stare off, and you just stare off.
Let's do it. Ready?
This wine is hot.
You drink your wine out of a mug?
I am. I've never done this before. I was a little nervous.
I go straight from the bottle, man.
Thank you for joining us for this Paley Front Row conversation presented by Citi. And special thanks to our guest and my friend, Jimmy Fallon. Be sure to support the Paley Center and consider becoming a Paley member by visiting paleycenter.org. Take care, everyone. Be safe. Keep those masks on your face.
Paula, were you reading the line where you said, "You're my friend"?
No, I added that.
Hmm.
Did I come alive on that line?
Yeah, that was the one.